Thank you so much for staying with us on the program. We've been talking about the PDP leadership tussle. The PDP National Working Committee has been dissolved in Port Harcourt. But again, you know what happened with the issue of the caretaker committee, which has been the issue of debate between Senator Ali Modu-Sharif, the case that has been in court. But Mr. Buhala, before I allow you to go, at this point in time, what would Senator Ali Modu-Sharif be advising the party to do? Because it looks so much that everybody is looking at him to stand down or to realign with the party. But from his own standpoint, what exactly are his demands from the party, or also from other colleagues of his in the party?
The best thing for us to do in the party is to go back to the fact that prior to the contraption that was the caretaker committee, Ali Sharif had addressed a press conference calling off the convention. And so there couldn't have been any convention. He did not mandate seconders who claimed to stand in for him at that convention to do so. And so we have to go back to do the right thing the right way by first aligning ourselves with the pronouncements of the courts. There was this pronouncement from another court contradictory as it appeared to the one that was made in Lagos, that Ali Sharif should not parade himself as the chairman of the party. And since then, he had not paraded himself as the chairman of the party, obeying that court order, because that court is a competent court of this country. Now, I expect whoever is pushing this so-called caretaker to sit down and look at the laws and obey them as they were. Let the court make the final pronouncement. We can now see where we went wrong, come together as a family, and see how we can avoid making such mistakes in the future.
Okay, so
but you cannot go behind doing one thing and pretending that you are making peace with an agreed party in this matter at another level.
Mr. Arunuwa, you're telling us that your principal, you're telling us now that your principal is not desperate to become the party chairman any longer.
He did not look for the position in the first place. They came to him begging him to come and do it.
So, but is he desperate to continue to be the chairman?
Now, having accepted to come and do it, if you don't want him, there is a way you can tell him to go. You don't go and pull off his trousers in public and you expect him to keep quiet. All
right, we need to leave it at that. Mr. Arunuwa Buhala, spokesperson to Senator Ali Modu-Sharif, talking to us on the leadership also in the PDP. Of course, let me just allow you to round up what we have on our hands in the PDP right now. What is the way out?
Well, I do not think that the problems are insurmountable, but he needs maturity, he needs inclusion, he needs that people, leaders should talk to themselves, and say reason. Because whether you like it or not, Nigeria needs a viable opposition political party.
But the law does not know maturity.
No, but the problem is, see, there are so many court cases, filing of court different cases and all that, and it's complicating the matter. Yeah, so if Sharif is not desperate to be the PDP chairman, and all that he's asking for is that the right thing be done, I don't think there should be any problem.
The right thing, that the demand seems to be a long road.
Well, I don't think so. But what I think, this is the problem. The whole crisis started when some people within the PDP who brought him and who had promised to make him the substantive chairman of the party suddenly changed their mind and then did the magic they did in Port Harcourt and came up with this. And the guy, it feels very aggrieved, and I think people should reach out to him instead of going about it the way they are doing now by saying, oh, look, we're taking over the secretariat, which is Secondos, is handing over to us. In what capacity?
Let's go and leave the PDP and let me allow you to talk to us on the issue of the Kogi governorship seats. Well, you know what has happened. Yesterday, we saw Governor Yahaya Bello emerging victorious at the tribunal when it defeated Mr. James Falike, who was the running mate to the late Abubakar Audu, who was the APC candidate in the Kogi governorship election last year. But again, today, the Governor Yahaya Bello came out victorious again against the former governor, Idris Wada, of the PDP, who also ran against him at a supplementary election. But 2 days, 2 victories for this man. But it looks like it's a journey that is just beginning. legally speaking, of course, Mr. Curtis Adigba, talk to us about this matter. Winning 2 cases, tribunal, but again, legal minds will tell you it's just the beginning of the road, isn't it?
Well, I think it's the same tribunal. Obviously, it's the same tribunal. I mean, but the important thing to note is that I think these rulings were expected.
Really?
Yes, if you look at...
There's no surprise in all of these rulings.
No. Look, what happened in Kogi State was a novel kind of situation. There is no provision for it in our extant law. And I think people are just trying to see what is most reasonable in the circumstance. Let's look at the provision of the law, for instance. We are talking about the situation where an election that was declared incoherent or inconclusive, so to say, did not produce a clear-cut winner. That's the position of INEC, you know, and then the candidate dies. Don't forget that Falake came in as a deputy to the principal, Abubakar Audu, but Falake was not part
of the primaries.
All right? Bello was part of the primaries.
He came second.
But he came second. And then it was alleged that he left the party to another party to contest also. But you see, that wasn't considered. Now, when that vacancy came up, all right, INEC, acting on the advice of the Attorney General of the Federation, asked the APC to give them a replacement. And that is because, if you remember the Supreme Court judgment in Rotimi Amechi and the PDP, the court said
the party
votes are won by the political party.
Because the party has a platform.
Yes. And if you look at our constitution, one of the qualifications for you to become a governor is that you must be a member of a political party and the party must have sponsored you.
Just before we go, no local standard. That's what the court told, the tribunal told Mr. Faleke.
I think that's a very strong word. I disagree. I mean, you can say...
He did not join INEC in the matter. That's technical...
That's fundamentally defective. But to say that he does not have a local standard, I don't want to agree with that.
Does he?
Look, what you are saying basically when you say somebody does not have a local standard, you are saying that he doesn't have any interest whatsoever in the matter. The law does not recognize his interest.
Does he have an interest when the party did not pick him?
Well, the party didn't pick him, and that's what he's contesting. Now, don't forget that his ground of contention, basic ground of contention is that, look, the election was not inconclusive. And that the election should have been declared conclusive, and if that happened under section 181 of our constitution, he, Bello, would have been sworn in as the governor.
Interesting.
But you see, that's where his problem lies. If the court don't agree with him on that point, then he's going to have a problem. But in the case of Bello, don't forget that section 141 of the Electoral Act says that no court or tribunal in any circumstance can declare anybody the winner of an election if he did not participate in all the stages of the election. So Bello took part in the primaries, and then he took part in the supplementary election, even though he didn't. So, but Falake shot himself on the foot when he refused to take part in the supplementary election. But again, he justifies it by saying, look, gentlemen, I don't need to be part of it because I was already governor-elect when the supplementary election took place because the election was conclusive.
Interesting matter. But of course, I know this case is going to be appealed and probably we'll see it onto the Supreme Court.
We are just in the beginning.
Thank you so much, Mr.
Thank you.
Always
Thanks
a pleasure having you on the program.
Thanks.
And also, whatever you're watching us, always a pleasure having you join us as a great company. On behalf of the team, I'm Shion Wakimale. Bye for now.